Hi, hello, how are ya? This is Shogun Pip here with another video. I don't think we've been fully acquainted, so I'm gonna start out this video by, giving a little introduction. My name is Ren, I'm 25, and I drew over 400 drawings over 400 days. I took on a challenge starting on August 30th of 2019 to draw every single day for a year. And while I didn't meet up to that standard exactly because I had oral surgery and was knocked out by pain meds for 3 days, I did make up for those drawings, and I didn't want to lie to you and say I drew every day for a year, but I have drawn every day except for the days I was knocked out on pain medication for the past 400, I think today will be 404 days. Is that impressive? So I figured that today I would start by showing you some of the drawings I did in the beginning, some of the drawings I did in between and where I've come so far, and then maybe I would draw you a new little drawing. So first of all, we all know that we are our own greatest critic. I am going to try to do my best to be positive and nice to myself, even as I show you some of the drawings that I don't like so much. Because not all of them are great, and in fact a lot of them are not. But it's all a journey. So I will say I'm going to show you how many sketchbooks that I have. One of them is not full because I just started it, but the others are full. 2 of them are full front and back. Oof, here they all are. There's so many. There are 5 sketchbooks, and the first one is this one, August 30th, and it's full front and back. So I gotta find the first one. The first day that I decided to draw every day, I was really into Fire Emblem 3 Houses, and I drew a bunch of Dimitris. Take a look. It's in a book. Now you can see it. It's not bad. I had years of experience with drawing at that point, but not at that often. And I had actually taken a break from drawing for maybe a year or 2 at that point, which was why I decided to do the challenge of drawing every day for a year. I wanted to improve because I felt like I had gotten worse since I stopped drawing, and it was like really demoralizing. So I thought that I would draw every single day, even when it was hard, even when I didn't want to. And in the beginning, it was very hard. In the beginning, I would have days where I really, really didn't want to do it, and I told myself, just draw anything, right? And so you'll have a lot of days, like this one, where the drawings are not so good, and they're really scribbly. You see I wrote tired days on there. I was very tired. That was in September of last year. You'll see days like this where I just wrote stuff like, I'm sick and tired. Oh my. I had to complain a little bit, otherwise I wasn't gonna get it done. Oh, this was when I did a Sims video. I edited 3 different Sims 4 videos. I never posted them. They're all done. I just never posted them. But I edited for 6 hours. And then I drew myself editing. Last year in October, so a year ago today, I was doing Inktober, but not with the normal Inktober prompts. I did Animal Crossing prompts for Inktober. And a year ago today, I drew a little Flora. Ta-ta-ta-da! There she is. Little Flora. I did a lot of Animal Crossing drawings that month, and it was a lot of fun. When I finished it on Halloween, I drew a little Jack. There he is. Happy Halloween! We did it! Every month was such an accomplishment. Every time I made it through, I was like, oh man, I did it again! And you mean, it's hard to say if you could see any improvement across those couple of months from August to October, but you can really see some improvement later on. So if you compare my original Dimitri's to something like this, where in February, I think? Was it February or was it January? Oh, yeah, it was March. It was March. Okay, if you compare those to March, you'll see, March, every single day I drew a picture of Sasuke Uchiha from Naruto. Don't judge me. Here he is. Smiling face, regular face, sad face, angry face. I basically took like a little thing that told me like emotions, and every day I drew a new emotion. I was already getting better by then, but I was looking off of a reference, which I still need for a lot of people, and I think that that's still fine and good. There are a lot of people who'll make you feel bad for using a reference, that you should, like, over time, get good enough at drawing them that you don't have to look at anything, but let me tell you, I've been drawing Sasuke Uchiha since I was 13 years old. It's been 12 years. And I still cannot draw him just right without looking at a reference. So don't beat yourself up. Don't beat yourself up if you have to use a reference. We looked through there. March was drawings of Sasuke. February was couples interacting. And January was OC drawings. So in February I drew a lot of OCX canon stuff. If you look there, it's not a bad drawing. In fact, like I'm pretty proud of that one. It's pretty good, especially for the time. I mean, if that was in February, then that was 8 months ago. It's been a long time. I drew a lot more in this sketchbook, filling up all the other sides of this one before I finished it. I drew, by the end of the sketchbook is when I got into my Rick and Morty phase. So, my Rick and Morty phase was basically just drawing a lot of Rick. There's one. There he is. I was really trying to practice the style. I think, like, I was just kind of tired of drawing, like, anime all the time, which is what I was doing a lot at the time. I was drawing a lot of anime style. And I was like, well, maybe I can try to copy another style for now. And, like, copying another style can be really, really good for figuring out your drawing style. That's something that I've learned a lot, is that even if you're drawing in a cartoon style for a little while, it can improve your overall drawing ability, which I didn't expect. I took a very long, I wouldn't call it a break, but I spent a long time, I would say 3 or 4 months or more, where I only drew Rick and Morty, and then I drew Gravity Falls. And by the end of it, by the time I came back, like, my general drawing style was a lot better. It was very encouraging. The Rick stuff is a lot of OCX canon as well. You see me flipping through it. I'm like, I don't know if y'all want to see the OCX canon. I shouldn't be so self-conscious about it. Cringe is dead, friends. Cringe is dead, and we are making up OCs to date, our favorite characters. Oh! This is one of my favorites. I drew if I met the Sanchez family, except for Jerry. You see there? So you see that there's this, Rick, and there's me, Beth in the back, Summer, and Morty. I was really, really proud of this when I drew it, and it's still good. I'm pretty happy with it. I think if it was the first day of something, it might have been July, I guess? I would imagine it was July. And it really heartened me to draw more. I haven't drawn as much Rick and Morty in a while, so I'm not as good as I ain't as good as I once was. But it's not bad. Also, something that I noticed as I was drawing every single day. So like I said in the beginning, I started out feeling it was difficult to try to draw every day, and especially when I was tired, I sometimes wouldn't look forward to it. I would dread it. I'd be like, why did I do this? You know, stuff is hard enough. Why am I adding on another thing, right? But I kept going, right? And as time went on, I just started looking forward to it more and more and more every single day, and I still love it. So I would start drawing more and more drawings. I would do the one drawing that I planned on, and I'd be like, oh, but can I draw this? And I would try it, and, you know, draw another thing, and another thing, and another thing. And it's really just become like a really fun hobby for me. The more that you draw, even if you're getting out drawings that you don't like and that you think aren't as good as you want them to be, if you keep going, you're eventually going to be able to translate what's in your head onto the page. Not every single day. Like, we all have bad days where our art isn't what we want it to be. But I'd say in general, if you keep going, you're going to get where you want to be. I mean, it might take a long time. 400 days is a long time. But when you think about it, it's like you could spend 400 days doing it and you'll improve exponentially. And in my opinion, that's worth it. It's been really worth my time, and I discovered that I really, really enjoy it. Here's another Rick and Morty drawing. It was one that I looked off of a screen cap of Rick whispering into Summer's ear, and I just like redrew it and instead drew myself. Ta-ta-ta-da! I'm really excited to get to the Gravity Falls ones because I think those are my best work. Oh, if we look through and find some drawings, more OC stuff. There's my Naruto OC. There she is. Her name is Ai. And I have worked on her design for a long time, since I was in high school. And I'm really happy with how she's come along. Oh, here's a bunch of doodles of Chloe Price from Life is Strange. She is one of my favorite characters of all time. Okay, here she is. Yeah. Yeah, there she is. I like those a lot too. I mean, you can see, like, especially compared to like the old Dimitri ones, I've started to pick up a style, and it's like almost anime-ish. At this point, it's still really anime because I was still like referencing those a lot for it. But you'll see in a bit that recently my style has like found like a middle ground in between cartoon and anime. More Chloe doodles. These were based on her style from the comics. Okay, so here is the beginning of my Gravity Falls journey, which is like, it's like, you might be sitting here and like, Ren, are you going to talk a lot about this Gravity Falls thing? And the answer to that is yes. I get so much joy out of it. It makes me so happy, and I really like my OC for Gravity Falls, and I like to draw Stan. Don't judge me. Anyway, there was a day when I was like, if I can draw Rick and Morty, I can draw Gravity Falls. So I sat down and I looked off of a drawing of Stanley, and I drew it, and I drew an OC for Gravity Falls. You can see here. There's Stanley from Scarioki. And then there's my OC. She's changed a lot since then, but her initial design I think is still good. I think it still looks really Gravity Fallsy. My OC meeting Dipper and Mabel. I was so pumped. I love to draw Mabel too. Okay, like Dipper's not as fun for me to draw, but Mabel is so much fun. Like, she's just got the really interesting and cute little sweaters. And plus, I don't know, I really like her character. And I always have. She's just a lot of fun. Here's some more stand practice from then. Like, you'll see that I start to get a little better. I drew this one without looking at a reference. So I was pretty happy with that. Off topic, here's a drawing of Undyne from Undertale. And then, I guess it's me fighting Undyne. I draw a lot more Undyne now. This is just a little doodle, and now recently I've been drawing a lot more Undyne as well. Here's my first little, my specific drawing of Mabel, and I'm really proud of this one. So take a look at her. Look at her! Is that not the spitting image? I'm really, really proud of her. Look. She's so cute. Here's a couple more stand practices with reference. They turned out really good. Another stand practice with reference, but that one was with reference from the Gravity Falls dating sim. So it's in the style of that game. Oh yeah. Here's a couple more stands in the style of the dating sim with a Rick. I love these. I actually have my best stand drawings up on my bulletin board behind me. I should go grab them in a sec. So, I put these up on my bulletin board because they are my favorites that I've done. I'm really proud of them, and I like to look at them and just be reminded of how far I've come. So, I drew these on August 24th, so it was almost a week before I'd hit my 1 year goal. Here they are. Look at those Stanleys. Look at that one. They make me so happy. Before we move to the next sketchbook, I'm going to show you, because this sketchbook here, I realized something about it as I was flipping through. This sketchbook was all extra drawings. So this entire sketchbook right here, this many pages, it's how many pages? It's 100 sheets. They were all extra ones that weren't part of my challenge. So anytime I wanted to draw a drawing that wasn't a part of the challenge, I put it in this sketchbook. And it's full. Oh yeah, for Dipper and Mabel's birthday, which was the day after I hit my 1 year mark. Here they are. Dipper and Mabel high-fiving on their birthday. So on my 1 year mark, what I decided to do, because I've been posting all of my drawings onto Tumblr for not the whole entire year that I was doing it, but since February. So that was halfway through my my drawing challenge that I decided to start posting them onto my Tumblr and sharing them with my friends. I decided that on my 1 year mark, I would redraw some of my older drawings that I had done early on in the challenge. And so, I mean, I'm not happy with all of them, but you know what? Like, that's part of the journey. So if we want to compare them, I will show them to you. So if you remember Dimitri's, I've already shown them twice, but here they are again. Dimitri's. And then we can compare them to Dimitri. This is the one that I drew in August of this year, a year after I started my challenge. It looks a lot better, I think. A lot less sketchy for sure. And here we have, this is my OC Ray. How he looked in the drawing that I did, and you can see September 1st. And a redraw I did of him, which I'm not totally happy with, but you know what? We're being nice to ourselves today. And my style just changed, and I got to keep working on him. But this is how I drew him in 2020. And then the other drawing that I redid was, here's my here's my Fire Emblem Three Houses OC, and the redraw I did of her down here. There she is. I think I like the style of the old one better, but also that wasn't a style that I was able to replicate easily then. It just came out of my hand. And I was like, this looks good. So that was at the 1 year mark, which was, like I said, August 30th, 2020. But guess what? Today it is October 9th, 2020. My grandfather's birthday. And Leif Erikson Day. Hinga-dinga-durgan. And I decided, so when I first started that challenge, I told myself, I just have to go a year. If I don't want to do it anymore after that, I can stop. But I got to that last day, and I love it. So I kept going. And so after that, I guess it's been another 40 days after my completed challenge. I'm still going. If we're looking in, this is not my most current sketchbook, I don't think. No, this is the one that I just filled up. So I have a Stan and a Rick. Ta-da! Putting both of my practiced styles together. His hand looks kind of weird, but it doesn't matter because I cut it out when I posted it on Tumblr. There we go. This sketchbook is full of Gravity Falls, and Gravity Falls, and Gravity Falls, and Gravity Falls. Here is a Stan again. You can see me improving. I'm getting better and better just drawing him. And also, I kind of start to stray away from like the original Gravity Falls style and more into just the way that I draw him because I'm not looking at a reference. This drawing is bad, so I'm covering it up. But, yes, I have Mabel stickers. I'm covering it up because it's not very good. But, here's my OC. Braiding Mabel's hair. Isn't that cute? And then it was the anniversary of Undertale, so I drew myself with the Skelebros. Here we are. Got some Undyne drawings. started to get into my drawing undine phase. Some more undines. There's an undine on there. More undines up here. Another undine. I'm not usually good at drawing big busts of characters. Like, I usually draw them pretty small. You've probably noticed, like, most of my drawings are really small. And it's because I get better at, like, doing tiny details that way. But, I usually struggle with drawing, like, big detailed drawings of people. But, here's this one. It turned out pretty good. There's undine. A little throw-in. Here's Noel from Final Fantasy 13 too. Here's a fun little page. I love this page. Hold on. It's not going to be the same as the others because I was doodling slimes from Final Fantasy 13 too. And so I drew some slimes. You see, this is what's fun. This wasn't even like my drawing of the day. This was just, I feel like drawing slimes. And so I drew a bunch of slimes. And then I drew more slimes at work for the next 3 days. I drew Joel from The Last of Us. And that's the last of that sketchbook. I had some other drawings at the end that were ones that I drew for friends on Tumblr. That's been like one of the most fun parts of like learning to draw and doing well enough and like getting better, is that I've been able to like draw things for people, which I used to like to do all the time before, but like I didn't feel like confident in it because I didn't think that I was like very good. And so I would draw something for someone and they would be nice and they would say thank you and they'd seem excited, but I would always be like, but it's not good. Like, there's no way that they're going to keep that. It's going to like sit in their bookshelf and they're not going to like put it up on their wall or anything. I mean, maybe they did, but I didn't feel good about it. And now I feel confident. Just because I put so much work into them, I feel a lot better about it. And especially giving gifts to others that are like my art, I feel a lot better just because I know that even if it's not exactly what I wanted it to be, I put a lot of work into it, and that has a lot of worth and merit, I think. I think I drew this a couple of days ago. I have a little Stanley head. I doodle little Stanley heads kind of when I'm bored, and it's very it's very simple. I can show you. Maybe that's what I'll draw at the end. I'll show you how to draw a Stanley head just for fun. And you can try it if you want. Yesterday I was having fun. Over the last few weeks I've been listening to a few different playthroughs of Undertale, just because of the anniversary was soon. It was not long ago. And I also listened to GT Live's playthrough of Doki Doki Literature Club, because that's one of my favorites. And I went back and I was like, you know, Flowey and Monica are very similar. So I drew this little... I'm covering him because he's an OC from one of my friend's video games, and I don't want people to take his design. Let's see. Yeah, there's Monica and Flowey. I got really lazy on the Flowey, but the Monica I think looks pretty good. And he's saying, "Oh, don't you know this world is all a game?" And I thought it looked good. I drew that yesterday for little funsies. Did I just do that? For little funsies, I drew little Simsy. She's a Sims YouTuber that I really like to watch, and I listened to her Animal Crossing and Sims streams, and so I drew a little drawing of her yesterday. Take a look. A lot of you might not know who she is, but if you do know who she is, I think that it encapsulates her pretty good. I think it looks pretty nice. That's caught up to where I am now. So I guess now, before I show you how to draw a little stand head, the question here is, you might be wondering, was it worth it to draw every single day for a year except for the 3 days that I was knocked out on pain medication? My answer is yes. For me, it has been incredibly worth it. It hasn't always been easy. Even to this day, there are still some days where I'm like, I am tired. I don't have any ideas. And I feel like I'm drawing the same thing over and over. But it's also like taught me to have a lot of grace to myself and just be kind, you know? And remind myself that, like, I'm only human. I can't expect myself to make some kind of new, like, creative, crazy art all the time, especially if I'm drawing every single day. The well's gonna run dry sometimes. And it's also kind of taught me to just follow my passions. Everything that I'm interested in, that I should just, like, you know, if I'm feeling it that day, draw it. You know, even if I've been practicing one specific thing and I'm, like, afraid to let it go, that I should move on and try something else, because when I was drawing Rick and Morty for all that time, it was a couple of months and I was getting better at it, but I was like losing steam on it, and I was gaining more interest in Gravity Falls, and I was really worried that if I stopped drawing Rick and Morty, then I would get worse at that. And I was like really scared to like let go of my interest in it, just because I had gained so much happiness from it. But I've found that I have like a really great interest in Gravity Falls, and practicing that different style helped me get better at Rick and Morty without even realizing it, and it helped me improve in general. I mean, I hope that you were able to see the improvements as I was showing them to you from the beginning to the end. I've gotten a lot better, and and I'm faster at drawing those better drawings too, which is a bonus, because if I sit down to draw, and it'll take me 10-15 minutes to get something out that I like, and then I can just kind of spend time doing it whatever else, or I can draw more. I'd say it's not always easy, but I usually do recommend it to people who ask me about it. If you want to learn to draw better, then drawing something every day is very good. That's a tip that people give online all the time. They say if you want to be better at something, then just keep going, keep trying. And it's even a tip that I give my sisters constantly. They'll complain to me that they're not as good at one thing or another, and they wish they were better at it. And if my sister watches this, she'll know exactly what I'm about to say. The phrase I always tell her is, "How do you get better at something?" And then she just looks at me, and I go, "You practice." And like even bad practice is good practice. Like I showed you some of the ones that I did. They weren't good. They were scribbled out, and I didn't care those days. I was just like tired or sick, and I didn't want to draw anything, but I got something out. And just doing something every day, even if it's tiny, it keeps the streak going, at least in my head. I would say I recommend it. Like, if you want to get better at anything, doing it every day or, every week, just like some kind of time period that you can hold yourself to is very helpful. Like, just draw something stupid and little, about anything that you like, and just take 5 minutes, and it doesn't have to be good. You don't have to put a lot of pressure on it. Like, I'll draw something for you right now. 10 seconds. And we got a little slime. And that's practice. I could talk forever about the benefits that it's had for me. I mean, mentally as well, during this pandemic, it's been very good for me. But I think now I should move my camera down a little bit and try to draw you a Stanley. Okay, so flip to a new page. So the key to drawing a good little Stanley is starting with a round square. I always start with a shape just like this. You can see there. A lot of times I'll end up having to make it longer, so I'll start out by just adding. It's always a little longer than I suspect, because he's got like the extra little chin details. So you start with like a rectangle, like a round rectangle, right? Just like that. And then you point 2 lines that way. And you round out his chin, okay? And you got that. And you take these and you make them shorter. So he's got like these little jowl things. I don't know what else to call him. Sorry if I'm shaking you around a little bit. I had to put my webcam up on the arm of my microphone, so here we are. Yeah, so you end up with a shape like that. And you see it's already starting to look a little more like Stanley. Well, now we draw another rectangle. So about that far from the forehead, you gotta give him a forehead. But you draw another rectangle, and you want to make sure it's not all the way over, but it can go over this side, and in fact it usually will, depending on which way he's facing. It's gonna go over that side of his face. Because we're drawing his glasses. So it's a rectangle, and I usually make it kind of rounded, but not as rounded as that. So you see there. Looks kind of like a little Among Us dude right now. We thicken up the line on the top and make it a little rounder. Okay? Just like that. And then we draw his nose. So in the center, we're gonna do like a little teardrop. It's not little, he's got a big nose. There we go. You erase the line inside of it. And you draw a little... He's got the little nose things, so you gotta add that. Okay. You go to the middle of the nose. And you draw a line up. And that completes the glasses. So right now it might look... It's like, yeah, the elements are there. But Ren, that doesn't really look like Stanley. Just you wait, okay? We add the eyes. So here's the thing. They're not a complete circle. But they're close to one. So you go like that. Yeah? See that? They're pretty big, but not as big as the other characters in Gravity Falls. People like Dipper and Mabel have very big eyes, but Stanley does not. Ta-da! Now he looks like a Muppet. If he looks like a Muppet, you're on the right track. He looks like a Muppet. Okay, so if I'm drawing him smiling, I'll usually add, you want to go with a little bit of that. Right. Ta-da. Usually I have him kind of looking off into the distance. You have like a circle for the pupils. The next thing that I do is I draw the line for his, the frame of his glasses, you know, to go over his ear. So just kind of do a little diagonal line there. And then you draw his sideburns, which, they kind of go just past the glasses. Like that. Draws ears, which come off of the sideburns, and he has big ears. Bigger than you would think. So you got the ear shape there. And I usually draw the inside of ears like this. Just a little bop and a bop. So I usually do his mouth last, so unfortunately we're going to wait for that. But we can add another line for his glasses there. Yeah. And then his hair. So this is where it gets a little complicated, and I've had to... So the thing is, I usually draw him with his hair, but I think most people would know him with the fez. I'm not as good at the fez because I practiced with the hair. And I realized that a lot of you might have been like, Ren, where is his fez? That's not Stanley without his fez. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I draw him not wearing the fez. So you kind of go up from the sideburn and you do a little, yeah, like that. You come off of that and you do another little like that. And then you come off of that and you do another one off of the side. Yeah, there we go. So you see, he's got hair. And then you come up from behind the ear, so it's not quite right there. It's a little farther over, like there. And you come up and you give him a few little, you know, a little bit of messy hair. Move forward. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you erase the line that was the top of his head. Okay, we get rid of that. Ta-da! Okay, now we're going to draw his eyebrows. Now his eyebrows are kind of interesting. Since he's smiling, they're going to be way up high. They're thick, and they have little thing on the end there. There we go. Stanley's eyebrows. Actually, I think the second one's not thick enough. You can erase it and start again. There we go. That's a lot more like it. Yeah. Okay, so his mouth is the fun part. So right now, he's looking more like Stanley, but he's still kind of like a Muppet. The key to making him look like Stanley and like an old man is you give him the little wrinkles under his eyes. If you forget the wrinkles under his eyes, you'll be looking at it going like, what's wrong? I don't know what's wrong with it. It's the wrinkles. He needs the wrinkles. So he's smiling. We're going to give him a big smile. It's a huge smile. Stanley has a very big mouth. So you kind of draw. It's almost like a round crescent moon. And he looks like he has no teeth. But this is where we are. Yeah. And you give him his teeth, which he's got big teeth as well. They just kind of follow along that side. Yeah, yeah. And a big tongue. Whop! Okay, now that we have that, we have to add the last little wrinkles. And you can draw on his stubble if you want. So you gotta add this one here. And this one here, on the edges of his smile. And it really looks like Stanley. For finishing touches, you can color in his mouth. You can also add another little thing to his nose, because he sometimes has more than one. And like I said before, you can color in his stubble. I usually just do little strokes of pencil. Usually just over where I think it would be. And you can color in the hair as well, but I don't usually. And there you go, you have a little Stanley head. Ta-ta-ta-da! Alrighty, I hope that you enjoyed that little tutorial on how to draw Stanley Pines. I'm sure none of you expected that when you clicked on this video. No one expected me to be as big of a fan of Gravity Falls as I am, but here I am, a huge fan! But to summarize, I do think that drawing every day has had a big impact on the way that I draw, the style, my ability, just how easy and accessible it feels. Because there's a time when if I drew, it felt like it was taking a lot of energy. It felt like I would have to go out of my way to do it. And it really doesn't feel that way anymore. If I ever have an idea, I literally just like grab a pen or pencil and just like scribble it down wherever I am. And I think that's really freeing. I do recommend that you try it out if you're interested in trying to improve your drawing skills or even just trying to learn. But anyway, thank you guys for watching my video. I'm proud to announce that I now have a Twitter! Me? It's easy. It's just at Shogun Pip. I don't have a lot of tweets on there yet, but I plan on tweeting out announcements about the channel there, any kind of thoughts that I have about it, any ideas maybe if you want to follow me on there and participate in the discussion. I would love to have you. It's likely that I'll also be posting drawings, especially if they're Animal Crossing related. And it'll help you keep abreast with anything going on in the channel. I know that not last week, a couple weeks ago, I uploaded a day late, and it was because the rendering time was very long. And I wanted to be able to let people know when I couldn't, and I was like, well, that's probably a good time to make a Twitter. Just in case, since I can't have a community page yet. So that will be my community page for now. If you want to keep up to date with what's going on with the channel, please follow me on Twitter. That is at Shogun Pip. No spaces. I don't think you can have spaces on Twitter. I don't use Twitter, but you can find me there. And we'll all have a grand old time on the twits. Thank you guys for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this video. You can like and subscribe to let me know if you liked it. You can leave a comment below if you want to tell me that you liked it. If you have any questions about what it's like to draw every day, or anything in general, I guess. I'll be there answering comments and responding, giving you guys likes and hearts and all that stuff. I appreciate you guys being here with me. I have a lot of fun making these videos every week, and it's been just a blast. But anyway, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.